Gratitude. A series of questions by Anna-Vita. The reason affirmations don't work is because your subconscious mind is nobody's fool. Simply saying you're grateful isn't the same as genuine gratitude. It's not the same at all. Hello, I'm Anna-Vita, artist and self-healer. And I'm here to tell you that gratitude can literally rewire your brain, as well as your body. So, in my ongoing practice of expanding my own healing out to you, I've put together this recording of very deep affirmations. They're designed to get your subconscious mind to look for all the reasons why a gratitude practice will do you so much good and help you get to the place where you feel genuine gratitude. This way, you can start living in accordance with who you really are. I'll read the questions slowly, giving you time to repeat them silently or out loud to yourself. Really feel each question. Let the asking of it go deep into your soul. Are you ready? Why does gratitude lead inevitably to health, wealth, and happiness? Why does gratitude lead inevitably to health, wealth, and happiness? Why does gratitude untangle all the knots from my life? Why does gratitude dissolve all my perceived blockages? Why does gratitude make me into the very best version of myself? Why is gratitude such a brilliant and beautiful way to live a life full of satisfaction, effortlessness, and fun? Why is gratitude such a brilliant and beautiful way to live a life full of satisfaction, effortlessness, and fun? Why is gratitude so illuminating? Why does gratitude, honestly felt, open my heart and improve my life? Why is gratitude so empowering? Why is my sense of gratitude about my life so much larger than it is about my measly collection of possessions? Why is the feeling of gratitude itself more important than what it is I'm grateful for? Why is it that the feeling of gratitude is more important than what I'm grateful for? Why is it the feeling? Why does gratitude make me better? Why does gratitude make me more in tune with my life, aligned with my real self? Why does gratitude give me so much happiness? Why does gratitude make me more honest with myself about everything? Why is it able to do that? Why does gratitude give me real strength? Why is gratitude my source of power from within? Why is the depth and sincerity of my gratitude a direct reflection of my success in life? Why is the depth and sincerity of my gratitude a direct reflection of my success in life? Why is real success measured in more important ways than just money? Why is the notion of being a self-made person a myth? Why is it impossible to achieve success without the effort of so many others? And why does my heart go out to all of them? Why are we all one? Why do I love my life so much? Why is everything so beautiful? Why is everything so amazing? Why do I feel such a strong sense of unity? Why am I not able to exist in a vacuum? Why are all the everyday items it's so easy to take for granted actually extremely important to my well-being? Why are all the everyday items that it's so easy to take for granted so important to my well-being? Why am I grateful for all these items? All the little things. My pots and pans, dishes and spoons. My paper, pens and paper clips. All my books. The inspiring things I learn. Why am I so thoroughly grateful for all these things? Why am I so grateful for my crackling fire? Why am I so grateful for all the people who participated in the creation of all my necessary items? Why does gratitude on this level make the world feel so much fuller, more helpful and friendly? Why does appreciating all this work done by all these people make me a better person? Why does my appreciation of the effort of so many others help to ensure I find my rightful place in life? Why does my appreciation of the effort of so many others help to ensure that I find my rightful place in life? Why does my appreciation for what other people do keep me connected to the world in a real and meaningful way? And why is a connection like this crucial to my being able to maintain the level of creativity that I need to succeed? Why is a connection like this crucial to my being able to maintain the level of creativity I need in order to succeed? Why is gratitude the perfect antidote for loneliness and isolation? Why does gratitude enlarge my life? Why does gratitude lead to genuine friendships and camaraderie? Why is gratitude the secret to happiness? Why is gratitude the perfect antidote for greed and arrogance? Why does gratitude give me humility? And why is humility important? Why am am I so full of gratitude for every little thing? Every bucket, every pair of boots, every clock. Why do I have so much appreciation for these things? Why is gratitude for everything, big and small, the highest and best way to attract perfect, unconditional love into my life? Why is gratitude for everything, big and small, the highest and best way to attract perfect, unconditional love into my life? Why does a heart full of gratitude attract the most wonderful friends? Why does gratitude feel so good? Why is gratitude a form of magic? Why is a heart full of gratitude the same as a heart full of love? Why does the universe respond to a heart full of gratitude, a heart full of love? Why does the universe send me gratitude for gratitude? Why does the universe give me endless examples of what I am? Why am I so well appreciated? Why am I so well loved? Why does the love I feel for the world come back to me 100-fold? Why am I so full of magnificence and humility? Why does gratitude for the numerous small things in my life create so many opportunities to receive bigger things? And why does my appreciation of those bigger things lead to even better things? Why are experiences better than things? Why does my appreciation for other people's insights give more meaning to my own insights? Why does my gratitude for the contributions of others make me better at making contributions of my own? Why does my appreciation of other people's understanding and wisdom make my own glow that much more brightly? Why is cultivating gratitude as a mental habit such a wonderful way to heal my heart? Why is gratitude such a good conduit for love? Why does gratitude resolve all my previous problems so effortlessly? Why does gratitude prioritize everything? Why does gratitude put everything in the proper perspective? Why is cultivating the mental habit of gratitude such an effective way to dissolve all the blockages to my success? Why does gratitude help me become open to opportunities I never would have been able to notice previously? Why does gratitude create so much positivity, energy, and optimism in me? Why does gratitude help me to be so well liked by so many? Why am I so grateful for my ability to keep growing, learning, and improving? And why does gratitude enable my ability to keep growing, learning, and improving? Why does gratitude enable my ability to keep growing, learning, and improving? Why does gratitude allow me to keep making virtuous circles all over my life? Why do I feel grateful even for my gratitude? Why do I understand the simple act of gratitude to be immeasurably powerful? Why is power a positive force generated from within? Why is my productivity so well enhanced by gratitude? Why does gratitude improve my energy level? Why does it keep improving? Why is appreciation, in the sense of gratitude, the same as appreciation in the sense of financial gain? Why does gratitude cause growth? Mental growth, spiritual growth, emotional growth, financial growth? Why does gratitude cause growth on every level? Why is gratitude the surest way to achieve success in the material world? Why is true appreciation for the help I receive from others also a form of respect for them? Why is appreciation for the people in my life an active form of love? Why is appreciation and respect for loved ones, passing acquaintances, and shop clerks as good for me as it is for them? Why is more respect for more people so good for the world? Why does the world respond to my gratitude, appreciation, and respect for others so lavishly? Why is there so much love in the world? Why is there so much mutual gratitude and appreciation in the world? Why am I so frequently overwhelmed by the enormity of love in the world? It makes me cry with how wonderful it is. Why is that? Why are there no end of possibilities with gratitude? Why is cultivating gratitude as a mental habit such a profound way to release myself from mental slavery? Why does gratitude for the work of hired helpers inspire them to do their best work? Why does everybody need to feel appreciated? Why is it so meaningful to express appreciation, not merely for what people have done for me, but for their larger set of circumstances and challenges? Why is it so meaningful to express appreciation, not merely for what people have done for me, but for their larger set of circumstances and challenges in life? Why does everybody need to feel appreciated? Why is everybody important? Why is everybody I have any connection with so important to me, personally? Why is being seen an intrinsic part of being appreciated? Why is being seen an intrinsic part of feeling respected Why is it impossible to really appreciate somebody without seeing who they really are? Why is generosity a sure sign of gratitude? Why does cultivating appreciation of a person's unique qualities always improve my attitude towards them? Why does cultivating appreciation of a person's unique qualities always improve my attitude towards them? And why does my improved attitude towards them improve their attitude towards me? Why is gratitude so good at creating virtuous circles? Why is gratitude so good at creating virtuous circles? Why is gratitude so good at creating virtuous circles? Why is gratitude such an important element in fostering connectedness? Why is connectedness necessary to my sense of self-worth? Why is a feeling of connectedness crucial to feeling a sense of usefulness and satisfaction in life? Why can I only feel a real sense of accomplishment by feeling connected to the rest of humanity? And why does my mental habit of gratitude keep this whole dynamic moving in a lovely flow state? Why does gratitude naturally become effortlessly self-replicating? Why is gratitude the best way to heal loneliness and isolation? Why does my gratitude for others keep me from becoming cut off from them? Why is gratitude such an easy way to foster and enlarge my commitments? If I feel grateful for the people I am committed to, why is it so much easier to keep my promises to them? Why does keeping my promises always lead to more satisfaction? Why does keeping promises feel so good? Why is the habit of always keeping promises an expression of the habit of gratitude? Why is the habit of always keeping promises an expression of the habit of gratitude? Why are these two expressions of the same thing? Why does gratitude preclude arrogance? Why does gratitude help me remain humble? Why do others appreciate humility and detest arrogance? Why is arrogance so offensive? Why is humility, especially in somebody as intelligent, creative, and talented as I am, so appealing? Why do I like to remind myself of everything I am grateful for? And why do I do this so often? Why does it feel so good to keep a gratitude journal and write in it several times a day, every day? Why am I so full of love? Why is my heart so open? Why is gratitude so expansive? Why does gratitude, honestly felt, open my heart and improve my life? Why is gratitude so empowering? Why does gratitude resolve feelings of jealousy and increase my self-esteem? Why does gratitude help me to be happy for other people's successes? Why does making a practice of gratitude make me a better version of myself? Why does writing out what I'm grateful for in a dedicated journal improve my life so much? Why does reading what I wrote in my gratitude journal remind me of everything I'm so grateful for? Why does reading what I wrote in my gratitude journal a week ago, a month ago, a year ago help me feel a fresh surge of genuine gratitude today? Why does genuine gratitude change everything for the better? Why does mentally and emotionally acknowledging the good in my life help me to feel more of what's good? Why does meditating on all I am grateful for fill me with a sense of unity and bliss? Why does gratitude make me so resilient? Why does gratitude make my brain function so much more effectively? Why is gratitude such a good motivator? Why does gratitude help me overcome procrastination? Why does gratitude enhance self-love? Why does having genuinely felt gratitude for all the good in my life enhance my empathy and compassion? Why does gratitude help me to believe in myself, cheer myself on, be proud of myself? Why does gratitude help me to believe in myself and cheer myself on and be proud of myself? Why does gratitude make it so much more effortless and natural to believe in others, cheer them on, be proud of them? Why does gratitude make it so much more effortless and natural to believe in others and to cheer them on and be proud of them? Why is gratitude a form of magic? Why does gratitude alleviate stress and anxiety? Why does gratitude resolve depression? Why does regularly expressing gratitude rewire my brain to be more sensitive, understanding, and compassionate towards myself and towards others? Why does regularly expressing gratitude rewire my brain to be more sensitive, understanding, and compassionate towards myself and others? Why does gratitude enlarge my life so much? Why is gratitude the perfect antidote for loneliness and isolation? Why does gratitude lead to genuine friendships and love? Why is gratitude the perfect antidote for greed and arrogance? Why does gratitude give me humility? Why is humility important? Why does gratitude open my heart? Why does gratitude open my mind? Why does gratitude make me a better version of myself? Why does gratitude align me with universal love? Why does alignment with universal love make my life work so effortlessly? Why does alignment with universal love make my life work so effortlessly? Why is alignment with universal love the natural progression from a dedicated, ongoing practice of genuine gratitude? Why is alignment with universal love the natural progression from a dedicated, ongoing practice of genuine gratitude? Why does gratitude create positive change? Why does gratitude open up new possibilities? Why does gratitude improve my ability to see new possibilities? Why is gratitude a form of magic? Why does a dedicated practice of gratitude change the way I see the world and open me up to opportunities I never would have noticed otherwise? Why is gratitude a form of magic? Why does gratitude change my brain's filtering system so that I can actually see and imagine and participate in wonderful new ideas that improve my life so much? Why does gratitude change my brain's filtering system so that I can actually see and imagine and participate in wonderful new ideas that improve my life so much? Why does gratitude even improve my productivity? Why does gratitude eliminate procrastination? Why does gratitude make my work feel good and fun? Why is gratitude a positive dopamine hit? Why does gratitude help to resolve addiction? Why is gratitude integral to my mental and emotional health? Why does gratitude act as a natural lubricant of the workings of my life? Why does gratitude grease the gears of everything I work to achieve? Why does gratitude make my work feel like play? Why is my productivity so much more profound when it's informed by gratitude? Why is appreciation, in the sense of gratitude, the same as appreciation in the sense of financial gain? Why does gratitude cause growth? Why does appreciation appreciate? Why does gratitude right now, for something I want to do, be, or have in the future, enable me to manifest it so much more easily and effortlessly than struggling, strategizing, and fighting for it ever did? Why does gratitude right now, for something in the future, enable it to manifest so much more easily than struggling, strategizing, and fighting for it? Why am I able to so clearly see right now what I want so profoundly in the future? And why do I feel so grateful at the knowledge that it's already mine? Why am I able to see so clearly right now what I want so profoundly in the future? And why do I feel so grateful at the knowledge that it's already mine? Why am I able to so clearly see right now what I want so profoundly in the future? And why do I feel so grateful at the knowledge that it's already mine? Why is effortlessness the natural expression of my original self? Why is my original self naturally full of gratitude? Why is the depth and sincerity of my gratitude the most direct reflection of my success in life? Why is the depth and sincerity of my gratitude the most direct reflection of my success in life? Why does gratitude make me better? Why does gratitude make me wiser? Why does gratitude make me more sincere? Why does gratitude make me healthier? Why does gratitude improve my health on every level? Why are the emotional, psychological, spiritual, and physical aspects of my health so positively influenced by my felt sense of genuine, unconditional gratitude? Why are the emotional, psychological, spiritual, and physical aspects of my health so positively influenced by my felt sense of genuine, unconditional gratitude? Why does gratitude fortify me? Why does gratitude make me so strong and resilient? Why are there no end of possibilities with gratitude? Why is gratitude so necessary to natural abundance? Why does gratitude enable such easy access to the flow state? Why is the flow state the natural expression of who I really am? Why does the flow state feel so good? Why, while in the flow state, do all my imagined blockages simply disappear? Why are my perceived blockages not really real? Why is cultivating the felt sense of genuine gratitude such an easy way to dissolve all my perceived blockages? Why does genuine gratitude help me realize, time and time again, that I already have everything I need within myself to accomplish all that I most want to achieve? Why does my genuine gratitude help me to realize over and over again that I already have everything I need within myself to accomplish all that I most want to achieve? Why are my perceived blockages nothing? Why do my perceived blockages only block my perceived ability? Why do my perceived blockages always prevent my necessary flow state? And why is the flow state a natural outgrowth of gratitude? Why does working every day in the flow state lead so easily and effortlessly to natural abundance? Why does working every day in the flow state lead so easily and effortlessly to natural abundance? Why are the flow state and natural abundance simply two expressions of the same thing? Why does gratitude work in concert with my flow state to create virtuous circles? Why does gratitude create virtuous circles over and over and over in my life? Why do my ever-increasing virtuous circles Fix one thing after another after another. Why are systems born out of virtuous circles, more important than goals? And why do virtuous circle systems lead to even better goals? Why does gratitude make my previous goals pale in comparison to the magnificent life I get to lead when I'm aligned with universal love? Why does gratitude make my previous goals pale in comparison to the magnificent life I get to lead when I'm aligned with universal love? Why is gratitude so powerful? Why is gratitude so liberating? Why does gratitude make me want to shine? Why does gratitude bring out my natural shine? Why is gratitude so healing? Why does gratitude feel so expansive? Why does gratitude, honestly felt, open my heart and improve my life? Why does gratitude give me real strength? Why is gratitude my source of power from within? Why is gratitude so empowering? Why is gratitude so congruent with universal love? Why does gratitude alleviate despair, depression, anxiety, and the fear-based thinking that keeps people small? Why does gratitude alleviate despair, anxiety, and depression, and the fear-based thinking that keeps people small? Why am I getting so good at feeling actual, genuine gratitude more and more all the time? Why is it so much more effortless to feel actual, genuine gratitude more and more all the time? Why does it keep getting easier? Why does it feel so good to actually, genuinely feel grateful? Feel grateful for everything I already have. Why does it feel so good to feel so genuinely grateful for everything I already have? Why does it feel so exciting to feel actual, genuine gratitude for the wonderful things I know will be mine in the future? Why does it feel so exciting to feel gratitude for everything that I know will be mine in the future? Why do I love feeling grateful? Why do I love feeling appreciation? Why does it feel so good when gratitude and appreciation simply melt away my anger, indignation, disgust, and dismissiveness? Why do those negative feelings feel so awful? Why do I appreciate my newfound freedom from those feelings? And why does this enable me to be so well appreciated? Is this why I'm so well loved? Why does the love I feel for the world come back to me 100-fold? Why does my self-love come back to me from the world 100-fold? Why does gratitude magnify my self-love? Why am I so full of magnificence and humility? Why does gratitude allow my magnificence to shine forth in a purely positive way? Why does my magnificence inspire people, make them want to shine too? Why does my humility inspire people even more than my magnificence? Why is gratitude such a good conduit for love? Why does gratitude put everything in the proper perspective? Why does gratitude enable effortlessness? Why are there no end of possibilities with gratitude? Why do I love myself so much? Why is everything so beautiful? Why is gratitude really a form of magic? Why is gratitude really a form of magic? Why is gratitude really a form of magic? Why is gratitude 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 a form of magic? Why is gratitude